Hey everybody, it's Brooke. I thought we should play in our idea book. We haven't done that in a long time. So if you'd like to come along and make some fun embellishments, stick around. For people that are just hopping in on the idea book train right now, um, we made this idea book out of I think it was a Weight Watchers recipe binder. New American Cooking, I guess. And it's a work in progress. What we're doing right now is following along with Cori Dahmen, who of course will be linked down below, and watching her flips, flaps, and folds, and just going along, doing her ideas, adding my own spin, and kind of speeding it up a little bit. She goes into really fine detail, which is awesome. I'm just going along a little quicker in case you'd like to do that. So hold on and we will get going. The digi that I am using, I'm doing kind of a cooking theme because it's a cookbook. So I'm using cardstock, and I don't even remember whose kit this was. But it's a cardstock or a scrapbooking kit that's cooking based. Spit it out, Brooke. And then I'm also using a digital that I created called Grandma's Kitchen. I'm happy to say that as of right now, all the digis in my shop are 50% off. So if I'm lucky and can do this, I'll link the shop right up there and you can go check this out if you'd like to. It's a really fun digital. And we've been using it kind of all the way through. So lots of backgrounds and journal pages and extras. It's fun, and that's what we'll use. Let's get crack-a-lackin'. Get this out of my way. And we shall start with Cori's idea number 20. So I did do a little pre-prep, not a ton, but just a little bit to make it go a little bit faster. This is what idea 20 looks like. It would go on your page like this. You could glue it down on just 3 sides and have a tuck in the back. You could glue it down on these 3 sides and have a pocket up here. Paper clip it in, whatever works for you. So you open this piece up, and there's a pocket up in here, and then this piece flips down. It's kind of tall, huh? And there's a pocket in here, and then these are all tucks as well. So there's a tuck right there and a tuck right there, and again, depending on how you glue it down, that could be a tuck there or whatever you like, but it's pretty darn versatile. So let's go ahead. I did stitch this one. I don't know if you guys can see. You certainly don't have to have a sewing machine. Totally up to you. But I just went around. You've got to do it separately. So you've got to stitch this before you put it down, and then stitch this one before you put it down, because obviously once it's on, you'd be stitching through the whole thing. So let's just start on that one, shall we? I've got piles of things all around me. So what you're going to need are 7 pieces of paper, your choice. Lighter weight paper, not cardstock. So I made this, which is the bottom pocket. I just pre-made it to get crack-a-lackin'. So this is 1 piece of a digital. 2 pieces is the coffee dyed paper. I've got cookbook pages. 3, 4, 5. And then I've got another digital, 6, and another piece of coffee dyed paper, which is 7. So let's start with the base of it. And I'm starting with this cookbook page. Just cut it down to a random width. Depending on your project, you could do it at any width that you want. These other 2 pages need to be the same height. These are not quite as wide as the base page, but that's fine. This one we're going to fold in half. Get the bone folder. And this one we're going to fold, not in half, but maybe fold 1/3 of it over. Get my gluing paper out, because what we want to do is glue this closed. Handy dandy glue stick, don't you know? Move up. Just gluing that part that's going to be folded. Making sure to get the edges. Whoa, whoa! I think I've left the cap off my Uhu and it's a little sticky. So there we go. That one's all folded and secured. And then we'll do this one. Are you guys working on an idea book? It's really handy to have when you're working on a journal, be it your own or one that you're making to sell. If you're a little stuck and don't know what to do, just flipping through it is great. Lots of inspiration that way. Great place if you see something that you like while you're watching a video. Great place to sort of store that idea so that you don't forget it. Maybe you have a better memory than I do, but I will forget it immediately, if not sooner. This is a big gluey mess. Not the best gluing job. Okay, so there we go. So we want our folds on the right hand side, and you just kind of want to stagger them. Actually, you know what, let's go ahead and ink so you can see a little better. You want to sort of stagger them so it's thirds. So this strip is a third, this is going to be a third, and then if we ink up this side, that works out pretty well. Maybe scoot this guy over a little bit. Move my hand so you can see what the heck I'm doing. Whoops. That piece is so gluey. We better be careful with that. So that looks great to me. I'm just going to put some glue. See, that's how my Uhu gets all jammy. Put some glue there and there. And do I want some here? I think I do. Well, I guess I'm going to have some, aren't I? And we will put that right about there, I believe. You can certainly mark it before you pick it up if that makes you feel more comfortable. And then we'll do the same with this one. Okay, that is the right side. Just checking. And go down those three sides. I put my fingers here to remind me not to glue there. Especially when I'm talking and recording. Sometimes I get kind of crazy with the glue. A reminder is nice. Line that up. Looks like we're a little bit off at the top, but that's okay. We can just trim it down. Crisis averted. Wipe that off. Perhaps I should put the top on my Uhu as well. Okay. So then I'll just get out my trimmer and give it a little trim, top and bottom, to even it up. If you wanted to at this point, you could stitch all the way around. Certainly not necessary, just a matter of what you prefer. There we go. So that's nice and neat. A little crooked because, well, I'm me, but that's all right. And I'm going to set this piece aside because this page is really gluey. I don't know how I got that out of control, but I did. And then we'll work on the flaps. So this is going to be our bottom flap, and I just took a piece of a digital, cut it down so that it's as wide as this piece, the base, and made it, well, let's see, the base is, holy cow, I'm out of control. The base is, let's see, it is 5 3/4 by 8 1/4. So I made this because I want it to go to about there, and I don't want to cut the kids off. And I need to have enough to fold around to the back. So this is just a matter of eyeballing it and deciding, do you want it to come up this high? Do you want it to be a more shallow thing? You just need to make sure it's tall enough that when you put the top flap on, they'll overlap. So that's all I did, was figure out the size of this, and then I backed it, glued on 3 sides, backed it with this coffee dyed paper, glued them together to make a pocket right here, and took a little thumb notch out. So I think I want this to be right about there because I don't want to lose the kiddos. That little boy is so funny looking. He just looks like all kinds of trouble. So let's put that there, make sure everything's good. Yep, that looks fabulous. And then we'll make the top flap, same exact way. I guess I can't set that aside to dry because I need to measure with it. Very fancy measuring, you know. So if I want it to overlap about that much, I don't want to cover them up too much. What do I want to do? Maybe I want it to overlap to there. That's pretty cool. So I want it to be this wide. Very technical measuring, you can see. And if I look here, I want it to be... Everything's sticky, including my fingers. I want it to be... we need enough to overlap, so I'll give myself a little extra. So I'll mark it right there. Okay. So I will see if I can still see my marks. Where did our side mark go? Well... Philly. Try to get this straight and tear right along here because that was that mark. Oh, and there's our, once I tore it and moved it, I could see where our side mark was. There are straps up there. Get up there, get out of my way. And then we will tear it on the side. You could use your cutter, you could use scissors, whatever makes you happy. Then we just need to back this. I mean, we don't have to back it. You could double print your digital if you wanted to make it a little less bulky. You could back it with book page, whatever you want to do. So I think what I will do, let's just think about this. It's going to be that way. This over. Show you my crazy thought process. So it's going to be this way, and it's going to fold up like that. So this is the edge we want to have the pocket open on. Okay, that was some big thinking right there. You know what I think I'm going to do? I didn't do it before, and I wish I had. Just to make this kind of prettier when you peek into the pocket. Let's, I should have folded this instead of cutting it, but hindsight and all. So let's just glue that piece there. Good use of a scrap, and then our pocket will look pretty on the inside too. We'll make it a little bit thicker, but I think that'll be fine. I think our book can take it. And again, the measurements of this are just depending on the book you're working in and how big you need it to be, or want it to be. Scoot that up. Come on, come on, you can do it. You can do it. Ah, nothing a little inking won't fix. Then we can tear off this excess. Oh, no, too wet. Don't do it. Don't do it, Brooke. Step away from the tearing. There we go. A little crooked, but, you know, again, it's how I roll. We'll ink that up a little bit. And I wasn't too careful about whether or not it was going the right direction, because, again, it's just going to be a little peekaboo for when you look in the pocket. not a deal breaker. So there's that, and we want our pocket to go with the opening at the top, where we just lined it. So we'll put our glue on these 3 sides. I'm going to turn this sideways. For some reason, it's easier for me to line it up. Don't know why. Get over there. There we go. So, there we go. Use that edge. Line that right up. Got a little wrinkle there, but it will flatten out over time. I'm not concerned. And then we can put a thumb notch right in here. Maybe I'll cut it down first, just so we can pretend to center it. I probably won't get it right in the center, but that's okay. Looks like we're a little crooked. Yep. Need a little more off that top bit. There, that straightened it up. That got it all straight. Okay, so now we can put in our thumb notch. Let's just see about that. Oh, well, I shouldn't be messing with it while the glue is wet, should I? That looks middle-ish. So that's cool. That way we can get in there and ink that up a little better. And I will just do a little repair job with our glue. Wow, super shoddy. There we go. All better. I find that if you wipe off the tip every time on your art glitter glue before you put the lid back on, it really helps stop the plugging up. So now we have this, right? So that's our base with our bottom pocket. And there's our top pocket. How is that so much wider? What happened? Well, I did some shoddy measuring, obviously, but we can take care of that. And I'm thinking I want it to overlap the little children right about there. So I'm going to fold it using the back as a guide, using the base as the guide. Get that folded, hopefully straight. Double check. Ooh, gotta flip it back the other way. Double check that it all fits together the way it's supposed to. And it does, except for that edge poking out. So I'm thinking what we can do is glue it, and then we'll take care of that edge. Might mess up our pocket. We'll have to re-glue it again. So what I like to do is take the bottom pocket and the part that's going to be on the back, I'm just going to go ahead and miter it. So I'm cutting from the bottom corner at an angle, or the bottom edge at an angle. And that's just to make sure that nothing is peeking out from behind. If you left it straight, sometimes the edges will show. So by doing that miter, that will help. And because it's going to be glued down, it doesn't matter. So I think that looks good. Let's do a little gluing. You could also cut this flap down if you wanted. You don't need all this. But I've already got it lined up, so what the heck. I'll just leave it and glue it. turn this over, cover this up. And there's our bottom flap. Awesome, look at that. Aren't they cute? And it opens up, and you have this pocket, and you have writing space right here. Looks like another place where I didn't get enough glue. Guess I'm being stingy with the glue today. Okay, so there's that, and then we'll take our top one, and I'll go ahead and cut those corners also. Get this one lined up. Okay, so I've got it lined up on that edge. This is the edge that we went terribly wrong. Okay, we didn't, I did. So I'll just glue it down, and then I will trim it. Wow, that's a lot. Look how much is sticking out. What was I measuring against? Try not to be so stingy with the glue this time. Make sure that's still lined up. Fold that down. Make sure we're getting good contact with the glue. Oh, yay. So that's going to fold up. Got your pocket in there. More journaling space there. Let's just take a trimmer and... nope. Trimmer's not going to work, is it? Well, I guess if I turn it this way, it will. A lot easier to manage this little trimmer under the camera, but it's little. Don't want to cut the paper, the base paper. Okay then, look at that. Needs a little more inking and whatnot, but I won't put you through that. So let me grab my little tag. So when it opens up, you've got a pocket. You could put a big journaling card, you could put a photo, whatever you like. You've got a tuck there, and a tuck there, and then the bottom fold, or the bottom pocket, you've got a pocket there, and then the whole thing closes up. You could certainly put some embellishments there. I think when it's in the book, if you put a heavy enough embellishment, it'll keep it all together. If you're concerned about it, you could just put a little Velcro dot on there. I like these little tiny ones that are real thin. You guys see that? I use them a lot, and I just take one off here. You can get these at any craft store or fabric store. And I line it up with one on there. Peel the whole thing off. That way I know they're lined up. And then, okay, I'm looking at it. I don't want to interfere with the notch, so we'll just put it right there. Ooh, it stuck to me. And fold that down. Press it in place. And that way, you know that, ooh, that was close. I should have put it down a little bit further, but it'll be okay. So that way you know that everything will stay closed and in place when you put it in your book. So that is idea number, what did we say this was? 20. Love this one. All right, hold please. I'll clean this up and we'll get to the next one. The next idea is number 21, and it's just this adorable little pocket. So what it has is a pocket here. When you glue it on your page, you can glue it down the center, you know, and three sides and make a skinny pocket here. You could just glue it on all three sides and have a wide pocket back in the back. And then there's a little pocket here made out of tracing paper. This is coffee dyed tracing paper, which Cori uses a lot and I love. I just don't happen to have any, so I grabbed a sheet of craft colored deli paper. It's not quite as translucent, but it'll give us the idea. And all you need for this is a rectangle of cardstock or digis, whatever you want to use, a book page. This one I made out of cardstock, and I like it because it is a little firmer, but totally up to you. So let's put that one up there. And this one I'm going to make out of a digi, and I printed on both sides. And so what you want to do is decide where you want this to go on your page. Let me pull this down so you can see, and how big you want it to be. Mine, I did about 8 inches wide, because that gives you this piece that you fold over, and then the rest of the rectangle. So let's do that. We're going to do, I really don't want to cut their little heads off. Okay, let's make a mark at 8. Maybe I'll go a little further than 8 and try to keep that teapot. Tear this off. Try not to lose our mark. So that's 8 inches wide, and then we have to decide, oh, look how pretty that scrap is. Yay. Love a pretty scrap. And how tall do we want it? And again, it just depends on where it's going to go in your book, how tall you want it. There are no set measurements at all. So I think I'm going to take it off right below this little story, because that way I can use that someplace else. It gives me a usable scrap. Okay, then what we're going to do is decide, I guess we're going to fold this way. Oh, I'm not crazy about that combo. I should have backed it with something else. How deep or how wide do you want your pocket? Again, your call. Fold that over however wide you want it. You know, this pocket. You could have a skinny pocket. You could have a wider pocket. Whatever you like. My bone folder is buried. There we go. Fold that. And just for the sake of funsies, I will ink this up so that maybe you can see the edges better. I do like an inked edge quite often because I think the definition is nice. Yeah, I wish I'd used the pink version of this, but it's okay. This is for demonstration purposes. So we'll just take a little thumb notch out of here. Not necessary, again, if you don't have a round hole punch, you could cut it by hand or you could just skip it. Totally up to you. Okay, and then I'll take my deli paper and I want to make this little half pocket. So, yeah, definitely not as translucent as the coffee dyed tracing paper. I think that coffee dyeing the tracing paper is well worth the effort. And I think I want the pocket about this tall. It's a little trickier punching a hole in deli paper, and what I recommend is taking, I'm just looking for a scrap. There's a little scrap we could use. Use another piece of paper, line it up, and punch through both. Otherwise, you're just going to end up with a jammed punch and no thumb notch. But by putting that other piece of paper behind it, it works out beautifully. Give this a little bit of ink. Now glue shows through tracing paper, deli paper, so you could absolutely stitch this on if you don't like that look. I'm going to go ahead and glue it so you can see what the glue looks like and decide which you prefer. Okay. Put some glue. I'll have to put the glue on it in order to glue it down, won't I? So, glue there. I'm always so impressed when I see people gluing in such perfect straight lines. My hands are too wobbly for that. It doesn't happen. I'm just going to line it up here on the bottom right hand corner. Get it all pressed down. And then for this guy, we're just going to put glue right there. Actually, we didn't even need glue on that side because of the fold. We needed glue on this side. See, I didn't put my thumb there to tell me where to glue. There we go. A little extra glue won't hurt. It just narrowed the space in the pocket. And there's that. And so we have a pocket here. I'm messing with it while the glue's wet again. Heh. A little pocket here, not even close to center on the thumb hole. And then, depending on how you want to glue it down, it could be a tuck this way. It could be a big pocket in the back. Again, you could glue it here, and here, and here, and make another skinny pocket here. Sky is the limit. So that one was a super easy one, wasn't it? Awesome. Okay. I'm going to clean up and we'll come back with the last idea of the day, which is number 22, I believe, if I'm counting correctly. And here we are back with idea number 22. This one is, well, I'll open it and show you. Super cute. Opens up here. So you've got a tuck right here and a tuck right here. You can put a full pocket here, or you could put just a little corner tuck, whatever you want to do. And then on the back, you've got this full-size envelope pocket. So nice and big, can fit something cool in there, writing space, however you would like to decorate it, whatever works for you. So I think this is adorable. Let's go ahead and make this one. And for this one, you'll just need a piece of cardstock and a piece of decorative paper. Again, measurements are depending on what you like and where it's going to go in your book. So I have this nice craft cardstock and another page of the digital. The first thing to decide is how wide you want it. Let's see how wide I made this one. I made this one 8 inches. So what we'll do is we want the paper to be 8.5. So let's do it this way. And how deep is it? 4 1/4. So we'll do that 5 1/4, 5 3/4, which is where? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Right there. Oh, I'm gonna have to use my big trimmer anyway because of the size of the paper. Duh. Okay then. So we've got 8 inches wide. And we want to do, did I say 5 3/4? Let's go ahead and just do 6 for the sake of argument. Okay, so got 1 scrap left. Put that over in the scrap pile. Get the big cutter out of the way. The first thing we're going to do is, in order to make this, we're going to make this pocket wide enough to fit, just not so tight. We're going to make a 1/2 inch score on the right hand side of our paper. I'm not used to the little one. I always do better with it sideways. Okay, it doesn't matter which side because this is cardstock. Get yourself together. Just make a 1/2 inch score. And I'm going to have to get out the big scoreboard too because of the size of the paper. So we've got a 1/2 inch score on the side, and that's to make a little gusset for our pocket. Let's get out the big guy. I do find with cardstock it's easier to use the scoreboard than just trying to score it, you know, by eye. And I want our flap to be about, actually, you know what, I'm going to turn it this way so that we get it nice and flush. I want our flap to be about 1.5 inches deep. So I'm going to score at 8.5 inches. We can move this out of the way now. Okay. We'll fold this. Oh, I'm kind of glad there's shadows now because it lets you see where we are. So we've got 1.5 inches fold here and a 1/2 inch here. Now we're going to do a little removal of portions of the cardstock. I am going to fold it in half. And I'm folding it in half with the gusset closed. Okay. There's that. Now what we're going to do is we want to take this section out because we don't need that. Look at me with scissors and everything. So I'm cutting just right on the fold. And then we can take this little section out because we don't need that. Concentrating really hard. Okay, so that leaves us our envelope flap and our gusset. And what I would like to do is go ahead and miter the corners on our gusset. I just always do. Prevent peekabooing and reduce the bulk at the corners a little bit. And then I think I will use the corner rounder on the envelope flap. This is a 1/2 inch round with my corner chomper. Is that what this is called? Yeah. Oh, it is. I remembered. There's so many different products from We Are Memory Keepers, it's hard to remember. All right, then. So there we go. All folds up neatly like an envelope, but that's not what we're going to do. This actually goes this way. Let's reinforce those folds. So this will be our front flap. You open it up like that. We'll have a piece, that tuck spot that wraps around, pocket or something there, and then you get to the back and you'll have your envelope. Now it looks like, oh, I didn't do a very good job trimming right here, so let's just get a little bit more of that off. Does that ever work out when you go back to take just a little more off? Yeah, no, it doesn't for me. Anyway, get my glue pages here. And we're going to get a piece of paper that is the right size for our pocket. So again, in my very fancy measuring way, I'm going to say, I don't want it to be right up to the fold of the envelope, or of the flap rather, because that makes it kind of hard to get things in and out. So I would say probably right about, I can see right here where the fold is, so I'm going to take it down a little bit, not a ton. And then I want it to be from the fold to not quite the edge of our gusset. Now you could go in and put another gusset on this side if you want the pocket to be really deep, but I think for this particular thing, well, you know what, we have the scrap, why don't we just do that? So, got our scrap here, make it the same height. This is one of the sections that we cut out, so we might as well use it, right? Is that about right? That is about right. Fold it in half. I guess it's kind of wide, so we can just take it and cut it down some. This way our pocket will be nice and wide for all kinds of goodies. And then we can miter each end, just like we did on the other. Measure it again. I think I might make it just a little shorter. It's pretty close, but we'll just take a little bit more off. Then put some glue there. Make sure it's nice and gluey. Oop, going crazy. I'm going crazy with the glue. Glued my thumb. Turn this so I can see where we're going. And I'm buttoning it right up to that fold. Get that down. Ooh, don't glue the gusset closed, Brooke. That would be bad. Okay, so now we have one on either side. And now we can do our paper right on top. Okay, now I have changed my mind yet again. We marked it to be about I don't know, 1/4 of an inch below this fold. I'm going to go a little higher than that so that I can fold the paper over and make it a little more sturdy. Hopefully that makes some sense. I will show you. So here's our width. And here is our original height. This is where I had originally marked it. I'm going to go up just a little bit. That's maybe 1/2 an inch. Because then I can fold it over. And when we make this into our pocket, that top edge will be a little sturdier. Get this out of the way. So, you see what I'm saying about it being a little sturdier? Hopefully. Okay, that's all glued down. We're going to need the glue again in a second. Bring this back down. Oh, perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and take a thumb notch out of here. Well, it's kind of almost center-ish. Put some ink on there so you can see the notch a little better. I would, were I making this for my book, I would ink all the way around. And then we'll just put glue on 3 sides. Get those gussets folded down. Oop. There we go. Oh, isn't that adorable? And then our little flap will fold like that. And once again, I would close this with Velcro. So let's go ahead and put a Velcro dot on there. Take one off this sheet. I guess you're not supposed to say Velcro. I guess you're supposed to say hook and loop tape. Yeah, that's it. Get that off there. They are not so lined up. We'll call it good enough. Now we want to make sure that we're not messing with our thumb notch again. So let's put it pretty close to the end of the base of the envelope. The bottom edge, for crying out loud. And look at that. Aha! Wowza! So we're good to go. And we'll take this, fold it over, give it another burnish to get it lying the way we want to. And now we need to just make the little tuck that wraps around. So again, totally up to you, however deep you want it. First thing I'm going to do is make this the same height as our card. Keeping my eye on that little mark so it doesn't escape. And let's see, I'm going to fold this in half and see how that looks in terms of depth. Nope, didn't tear straight, not even a little bit. If I ever did something straight, would you guys fall right out of your chair? I would think you would. Oh, I like it that way. Nice pocket there. Oh, look at that. It just works for me just the way it is. So I will take it out of there. I will, once again, eyeball it. Go in for the middle. Come on, we can do it. And if you keep it folded and punch it, that way your thumb notches are in the same spot. It's not required by any means. Quick little ink. I know, I know. And then we will turn it over. How did we have it? We had it like this. Make sure it's all lined up. Take it, grab our glue, and just do the top edge and the bottom edge. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. Did I get super quiet? I'm concentrating really hard because we've been going a long time. I got to wrap this puppy up and then do the same on the back. Super cute. Look at that, you guys. So we've got our tuck spot here. My tag. There's our tuck spot on the front. There's our tuck spot on the back side. You could stitch some journal pages in here if you wanted to. Any number of things. And on this side, we still have some scraps left. So what if we just make a pocket? Just an easy peasy pocket. Let's go ahead and give it some gussets again, so it's not quite so tight. Just folding over about 1/4 inch. And then looking over here. Make sure that you're not going over your center fold. Fold it to right about there. More official measuring, just eyeballing the piece that we made. Fold it back, and then decide how deep you want it. That works for me. So right under the S. I wanted to keep the rows, so we will take it off right there. Oh, I could have folded the top of this down too to reinforce that top edge, but I didn't. Where are my little scissors? Get those corners mitered. Get our thumb notch put in there. Once again, can we get it in the middle? I don't know. Not too bad. And then we glue here. Try to glue there. And the bottom edge. Line that up. Oop, make sure it stays folded under. I was trying to misbehave. I went up a little from the bottom, but a little bit of ink will cover that right up, take care of it. Cover up our glue. And it is done, you guys. Here's our inside pocket. These two pockets, journaling space there, pocket there, journaling space there, and then when you flip it over, you've got this big, deep pocket. And I like how the label ended up right in the middle. That was a happy coincidence. So there is number 22, you guys, and that is going to do it. I'm sorry I kept you for so long. You have just a wonderful night. I'm looking for others so I can show you. There's 21, and there's 20. So we made 3 different embellishments today. Super fun pockets and tucks and tags. And thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got inspiration. If you're new here, welcome. Thanks so much for stopping by. I hope you'll consider subscribing. If you're not new here, I love you guys. You're all awesome. And I will speak to you real soon. Bye.